guys and your first looks at them, and
it's probably easier to do impressions of the guys that we've had because of, these guys are all new.
Yeah.
I'll have to try and go through. Jalen Llewellyn is really like an elder statesman. He's been through so much, and you know, he's a Princeton grad. He's quiet, but he is he's a good player. He's a really good outside shooter. Been a little banged up, but he's just an older guy. Joey Baker is a great teammate. Still coming through his hip surgery from the summer. Beautiful stroke. Very willing learner, which all of these guys are. You have to consider Isaiah Barnes new because he redshirted. Hopefully he redshirted from last year. We're still working on that paperwork. He has upped his level. He's much more confident, carries himself differently than he did last year at this time. Explosive athlete, very good offensive rebounder for a wing. Will Cheddar is a really strong outside shooter. He is. His teammates would say to you that he is a walking foul, but none of us were paid to referee, so he's a very, very physical player, very, very vocal on the floor. Terrace Reed is just an old-fashioned, fundamentally sound big guy. And to see his growth since his time in Juwan's laboratory is really a pleasure to watch. Terrific young guy, expanding his game. I would say in July he could score at the rim. Now he's moved his game a little bit. He's adjusted his shooting form. So he has a really bright future. Dougie McDaniel, he's a little, he can move. He can really move. He is a pest defensively. He's very good at picking up full court, bothering the ball. His ball has gone in the basket, and there are times when you think maybe that shot, but the ball goes in the basket. And he's a guy that thrives in competition. Greg Glenn is still a position to be determined. Is he going to be a big wing? Is he going to be really an undersized four-man? That's still to be determined. And on the last 10 days, he's become very vocal, which is a good thing because some of our guys, the combination of the team is that it's somewhat of a quiet team. That will change, and it is changing now that they can kind of see, quote unquote, the finish line, that there are games coming up. And then Jed Howard has as pretty a stroke as you're going to find. And what I appreciate about Jed the most is his eyes. He has a really bright eye in that he wants you to coach him, but he wants you to like him. And that's okay. We can like him. We don't always have to like what he's doing on the floor, but he's a very, very likable young guy. And in his look, call it the way it is. For both he and Jace, it can be tougher, but they make it very, very easy to coach them, and you're really excited for their successes.
Is it possible to know at this time whether you have a team where the pieces fit and there's chemistry and they're gonna fight for one another, or do you need to be, I don't know, down at 10 at halftime in a game and to really see that?
No. I think that because of the trip and because of the additional 10 practices, they are together. Now, you've heard me say this before. You don't really know until you get a little blood in your mouth, right? You don't really know if a guy's all in until he sits for a half and doesn't get minutes. And now, but everybody loved me on August the 3rd. I love all of them on August the 3rd, but they might not help us win on November 7th. So that's clearly, that's clearly to come. I think that right now, and it starts to transfer right about now. We're about 4 weeks out, maybe, where this changes from a me to a we. And the me is always in the summer and in these early workouts because, you're doing great and you want to lift them up. You don't want them to dread coming in here. Okay. Now, whether that camaraderie stays and whether we can stay with a group of great teammates, let's see how somebody deals with disappointment. And it's individual disappointment. It's not down 10 or it's not losing a game. And I'm not wishing this on us, but if we go to London and lose to Kentucky, well, you don't want to be looking around and saying, well, that guy left the reservation, that guy left the reservation, that guy left the reservation. You have to find out now. But really, we have good teammates.
How different is year two Kobe on the court?
Well, there it is. You just said it. He's on the court. And I'm not knocking it. Like, seriously, how many minutes could Kobe have gotten? He could have played great. He wasn't playing ahead of Eli Brooks. Eli Brooks is the all-time winningest player here in Michigan history. He wasn't getting on the floor. But Kobe's work ethic is, I would say he's in here at least twice a day. He walks with his shoulders back and his head up. And somebody asked me the other day about his size. I can't really tell that, but he is he's different. And the beauty with him is, if he's here, they're still here to get to. And I always remind him of what he said to me last spring. I said, who do you want to be like? Thinking he would think like a Big Ten player, an all Big Ten player. And he said, I want to do for my team what Eli did for his team. And I said, then you have to become the best, really, perimeter defender in the Big Ten.